page 8. Here we go, sine law. I'm thinking I'm going to do A and C. That's all I'm going to do. So, because I just want to review real quick. So it says, calculate the measure of the indicated side and or angle, right? So you might have to solve for either one or both. I'm just going to say this. Sometimes the triangles look wacky, folks, and then students kind of don't know where the pairs are. You maybe don't copy this, but I've seen extreme cases, and the province has done something like this. Just like a wacky triangle like this. It's a very obtuse triangle, right? So still, what I suggest is, if this is, let's say the angles are A, B, C, correct? If you go to this angle, just travel out until you hit a side. That's the pair. Right? These are the pairs. Morning. This one is hard, right? B, this angle. So if you were to just travel out, you're gonna hit a side right here. Okay, that's the pair there. This is probably the hardest pair to identify. Okay, this one across from that one. So just remember, they sometimes look wacky. Sine law still works. Okay, just think about it. Take your time. Okay, here we go. I look at this triangle, and you should identify the angle and the side across from it. That's what I call a known pair. Okay. Because after today, you will know how to use cosine law. You have to choose. Only one law works at the beginning. Okay? So sine law. Morning. Maybe you can think of it this way. Watch. Sine of 121 over 77.5 meters is equal to, what's the other pair that we have? We have sine A over 45.1, because they are across. And what's the third pair? Sine of this angle here, C, over side C, correct? There are technically 3 pairs in this triangle. Every triangle has 3 pairs. This one right now is a bit useless to me. I can't really use it because right, unknown. So you kind of want to say, well, I can only work with my known pair, and this one I can work with because only one item is missing, right? So if you want to set them all up like this and then just eliminate one that you cannot solve for angle A. Once you solve for angle A, you can figure out angle C, because the sum of triangle interior angles is 180. That will enable this one, and then you were missing that. So in that case, you're going to use your original pair and that one to keep solving. Okay, so I don't know if this helps you. If it doesn't help you, just don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Anyways, I'm going to solve here. Sine of 121 over 77.5 meters. And then I have this side which allows me to solve for the angle opposite to it. So this is perfect. This is just a one-step situation. Okay? So you set it up like that. You get 1 mark already just for using sine law on the exam. And in this case, we cross multiply this way and divide going down. So sine of A is 45.1 multiplied by sine of 121 divided by 77.5. I will turn this into a decimal, okay? So I'm just going to 45.1 times sine of 121 divided by 77.5. If you're trying to find an angle that doesn't start with a 0, you're in trouble, okay? It's going to give you a math error or something on your calculator. So this has to start with a 0. That's just a way of checking if you're doing things right. Why, you might ask? That's a long conversation we can have at one point if you're interested. Okay. So as soon as you drop the sign on the left side of your equation, if you just go angle A, sine inverse must appear. Okay. That's almost like a necessary step that must be shown. I would argue you could probably not, you could skip this equal sign here. You don't have to have that there as long as I see it down here somewhere, okay? But I like to have that present, so you go angle A is equal to, my calculator, I just go shift, sine, hit equals, that's 29.92. Clearly indicate the angle you've solved for. Morning. Let me just go back here. So this is what we had at the beginning. Some of you might have to go shift, sine, and then press the answer button. Like I have an answer button, which means take the inverse of the previous answer, and you get 29.92 still. So you have to figure out your calculator. Sometimes you don't have an answer button. Sometimes you have to press second and then equal sign or something down here to call the answer from before. But you already know that, so we'll just move on. Let's go to C here. Okay, that's the last one I'm going to do, and then you get to show me whether or not you understand that. You look at the triangle, this angle is across this side, right? It's always angle side pairs. So we're going to go sine of 81 degrees over 15.3 centimeters. And that, what can I solve for? You got to be careful. In this case, okay, let's say I would try to solve for side M. I can't do it yet because I need angle M, okay? So since you have this side, solve for the angle opposite to it. Complete the pair, so to speak. You need to complete the pair. So sine of N over 6.5 centimeters. Sine of N would be, right, multiplying those two times sine of 81 over 15.3. I'm going to turn that into a decimal. I might just look at my key here, but my key doesn't have it, so it doesn't help me. Oh yeah, it does. Hold on. 0.49419 and some. It keeps going. So angle N is found by taking the inverse, and you get 2481 degrees. As soon as you find that second angle, I would find the third angle, M, which will then allow you to solve for the side across from it. So angle M is 180 minus 81 minus 24.81. Sum of triangles equal to 180, right? And that gives me 7419. Important, not an answer, but it's important, right? So I will take that with me and set up another proportion. I'm going to use the original pair. Over M, side M, okay, lowercase. In this case, you multiply this way, you divide that way. Okay, so cross multiply and divide, you get 14.90 if you round that correctly, centimeters. Okay. We're good? Clear? Okay. Just be careful with notation. Right? We want to get that notation right, especially when you're finding the angle. Have an inverse. I think what I don't like to see, for like some students just go sine of N is 2481, right? No, as soon as you find the angle, you should no longer have sine attached to your angle, right? Because you basically performed the inverse of both sides. Okay. Like, I think I want to do this with you just so you see. When you're taking the inverse of, when I show up with the inverse, really what's happening is sine n is like this, and you take sine inverse of it. Whoa, right? And these two cancel out. You take the inverse of both sides, really, and that's why we just drop the sine on the left side as just n. Okay. So there you have it. Stop there.